What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Den Dialogues. I'm your host, Ryan Martin, and I'm super excited to share this conversation I had with Jarlath Regan. You probably know him as an Irish stand-up comedian touring the world for many years, and you can check him out live. He's got a lot of tour dates right now. He's in Europe. Now he's going to be headed through the rest of November to Australia and New Zealand. Go to Jigser, jigser.com for all of his tour dates. He's going to then be back in Europe January 2026 through the end of March. And then he's back in the United States at the Gramercy Theater in New York in April and the Wilbur in Boston. So check him out live, guys. Highly recommend it. Super funny guy. Super great dude, too. He brought me this book that he just wrote and dropped called The Gobshite Guidebook, a survival manual. Spot them, survive them, sidestep them forever. It's just a super humorous way to help you avoid the gobshites of the world. Even in a worst case scenario where you have a kid that's a gobshite, how do you deal with that? It's super funny. And it just tells you a little bit about him that he brought this as a gift, signed it, and gave it to me. His podcast, An Irishman Abroad, has been going on since 2013. And he's met with some, ex-presidents, heads of state, all kinds of great people. And also he's invited on guests of just regular people. So he gives everyone a chance. I mean, he was nice enough to sit down with me for this conversation, and full respect, just gives you some insight. He's a guy of depth, humor, talent, hard work, and I think he shared that a little in this podcast. He's done a ton of other things. So please just look into him if you don't know him. If you do know him, I hope you enjoy this. He's got a special out among quite a few specials, but called Organ Freeman, after he donated his kidney to his brother. And just spreading awareness of organ donation, as well as sharing and spreading the funny. Without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Jarlath Regan.
Yeah, I'm a very soft speaker, so I'll try and get in nice and tight. Yeah.
Thank you. But you're a pro at this. Oh my God,
Yeah, but I'm used to asking the questions. Yeah. That's a very different thing.
Well, first of all, I'm honored that you're sitting down with me because, look, you've done this. I'm a baby at this, so you're probably.
That's your power. That's your power. You're fresh. You're new.
You don't have there's no rules at this stage, right?
Man. Sometimes people are too in their heads. They've done too much. You're fresh.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll look at that as a silver lining. But feel free to just put me in my place if I'm.
But this is the beauty of it, Ryan. It's conversation.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah. Nobody's new to this.
Right.
Well, we've been doing this all our lives.
True.
Like, you're a good conversationalist. I know this from talking to you. So this is right up your street. So there's nothing to fear when you ask me to do this. I was like, of course, absolutely.
I guess that is the thing with it. It's like, and it's what people want to see, and authenticity. Like two people just really
getting into
figure things out.
Yeah.
So what is it about podcasting that you think is like what key?
The key, it really is about passion, isn't it? That if you're talking about something you're passionate about, you're talking to people and you're curious. I think that's the key. The curiosity. I mean, we've all watched people interview people who they have no interest in. And it's painful. It's absolutely painful. So you need to have a natural curiosity and be passionate about learning.
I'm not quite sure why they're there. Maybe they're having fun and bantering a little bit, but I get what you're saying, where it's like, and that can have its place too, but like, when you really have the interest and the curiosity, that makes sense to me.
I mean, that's for interview podcasts, but like, you can be talking about donuts and pasta, and if you're passionate about those things, that works. But I think with interviews, certainly the sense that I get from all the ones that I love. Like I would love Terry Gross on NPR and Fresh Air. She would be, I think she's the standard bearer for great interviewing.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Look into all this stuff.
She's the best. Who else? I always love Pete Holmes's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Pete?
I do. He's played here a couple times, and he actually sat down with me.
Yeah, he goes deep. He goes deep.
Oh, he goes deep. He's a super
deep thinker,
philosophical.
Yeah,
guy.
love that. Love his podcast. Yeah, and I guess we all have our own things. You made it weird, yeah. We all have our own. Like Neil Brennan used to make a great podcast with Moshe Kasher called the Champs Podcast.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh, it was so good. Only black guests. It was fantastic.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 2 white guys talking to a black guy about his life.
Crazy.
It was so amazing. And Neil and Moshe are just so funny. And they used to have Doug as a DJ in the background doing drops throughout, interrupting the conversation with ridiculous drops in there, and I loved that as well. Like
it's still out there.
I mean, they stopped making it ages ago, but because he's doing that Blocks podcast Neil does, which is also incredible. I mean, I run a lot. I do a lot of running.
Yeah,
and certainly when you're listening to something like that, I find the miles just disappear. You don't know. And I think that's one of the keys to podcasting for me is, does it take you in and does it make you forget what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because it is a bit of escape, isn't it? We're trying to listen to things.
I think so. But I think there's so many aspects that can make you escape like that. I mean, a good movie can do that. A book can do that. Poetry can do that.
Comedy.
Yeah, it makes you... Ultimately, we're all looking for that moment. Yeah, whether we're watching comedy and we forget ourselves.
Yeah, take us out of our lives for a bit. Yeah.
Truly be taken away in a story or something. But there's so much to it. Like, I noticed for you, it's just even your the way that you speak and the way that you connect with people in your podcast and listen and that curiosity. It really... It seems to add to the ability for people to then
dive
get
in.
locked in.
Yeah. I mean, you want to be that fly on the wall, don't you? You want the audience to feel like they're eavesdropping on a conversation that people don't even feel is recorded. Yeah. And you're right. I think listening is definitely a key too, isn't it? Just getting out of the way. People rarely let each other finish sentences these days. It seems like such a strange thing to say.
I'm a culprit of that. And I think a lot of it is like the fear that maybe you have a thought that you'll
lose it, forget it.
Yeah, it's a confidence thing too.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot just in conversation with people.
There's nothing wrong with jumping in with something funny, but like when you're talking to somebody, I think it's funny to let them finish the thought. Mm-hmm. Where's he going with this? Like I used to say that one of the reasons why America defends the right to free speech is because the exercise of free speech allows us to identify the idiots. Let him finish. Let this guy talk. He's got a stupid idea, but let him finish it so we see how stupid it is. Right? Because he hangs himself.
That's awesome.
Give him enough rope. That's all we're saying. You don't cut him off. Let him finish.
Just let him go.
Yeah. And then hold him to it.
Will go off.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I want to get back into the podcast because I think it's fascinating. And I can't believe how many you've done and how early you started. But let's go back a little more if it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious about when, a little bit about your origins. Ireland. Some of your early, people, influences of mom, dad, family, the town you lived in. You're traveling the world now. You've made an amazing comedy career for yourself, global entertainer.
Thank you.
Book writer, podcaster. Was this always the plan? What if you could just give me a little bit about your early days and how it led to where you are now?
Yeah, so I would have grown up in Ireland on the Curragh of Kildare in Ireland, which I always call Ireland's desert because it's just grass and it's flat and there's very little happening there other than sheep, horses, the army. That's where they train. And the Irish army is Obviously, we're peacekeepers. We're a neutral country. So a lot of it's just training stuff. Like, I mean, these guys are in the UN, obviously. But, like, your options there are pretty limited. Pretty limited. I remember the options were horse racing or the army or golf. I mean, it's a good golf place. And I thought horses were a dumb creature. And I really didn't understand why people were so obsessed with them. Like, my brother and my father would go and look at a horse in a field. If they heard there was a horse nearby, they'd go and look at it and try and figure out whose horse it was. Like, I'm exaggerating here, but their attitude to horses and people that were into horses were just like, this is the greatest creature ever.
Just
and my attitude was,
and
they're so
majestic.
yeah. And I was just like, this animal hates us. I mean, there's no two ways about it. But they've been transporting man for millennia. Yeah, against their will. Like, they don't want to do that. They're not saying hop on. They're lit. We have to break them. We have to break their spirit. Yeah, we're nailing shoes to their feet. They're like, it's such a wonderful creature, but it will try and kill you the first time you walk behind it. Like, no matter how much you've cared for this creature. So I was like, how could I get into this? Like, I remember I used to ride horses, and they'd try and throw you into a hedge. I was like, what kind of a relationship is this? I love dogs, but this is a huge industry in Ireland. My father was employed and my brother's employed in it. I really think a lot of my comedy comes from me as a kid looking around in Ireland going, what is going on here?
Why?
Am I the only one who thinks this is nuts? Like, there's Gaelic football is our national sport that never made any sense to me at all. It's got a very fuzzy set of rules, where it's not really clear what's a foul and what's not a foul. And similarly, I was just,
so you can like hit and
yeah,
just like,
I say it's a cross between UFC, Australian rules football, and Dancing with the Stars. It's got a majestic kind of brutality to it.
what do you mean dancing? Like,
Yeah.
it
is glorious to watch when it's played well. Fielding the ball 12 feet in the air, and scoring points from like a distance out down the pitch. But again, I just couldn't make sense of it. And I guess my origin story is me growing up in the countryside and not really feeling like I belonged at all. Like, really being like, I remember one of the things I was obsessed with doing was going to the airport because the action. That's where the action was.
like people in and out.
Yeah, if it was someone going to the airport, I'm in. Put me in the car. Let's go. And
just to
being
look at
there,
it, like not even go anywhere.
I remember looking at the board and it was like Egypt. You could fly to Egypt from Dublin. I was like, what is going on? Like, you fly to Cairo from here. Like, just the idea that possibility.
Yeah.
It was, the 80s was pretty bleak in Ireland, and people forget this. It's much like, it's not Cold War Russia, but like people all bought their clothes in the one store.
Yeah.
There was very little possibility of a future. Most people were leaving. Emigration was just constant. You were expected to leave. And I guess I fell in love with America early doors. I really did.
So you were young and you were thinking,
10, 11.
Okay.
Loved America. Loved Chicago.
Yeah.
Loved the Bulls, Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, that was the time of.
Yeah, I mean, Gaelic football was opposed to any kind of spontaneity or flamboyance, and basketball was the opposite. It was all show, showmanship, and razzle dazzle. So I was in, and like, at this point I just knew I loved comedy, but I didn't know you could get a job in it. I didn't know you could do it for a living.
So you were already 10, 11 thinking about comedy, thinking about
assuming
America.
I would live in America, because I just thought that's the land of milk and honey. Like, for a lot of Irish people, it's like, I mean, that's where you got to go. I mean, Irish people are our biggest export next to Guinness. We export well. Who said, I don't know who said that we colonized the world back. They colonized us. We colonized them back using a phone book and a sleeping bag. We just were able to, figure it out when we got to places. It helped that there was no going back. There wasn't much to go back for. But I always thought that's what I'd do. And my brother obviously emigrated when I was 14. And that kind of laid the path, the idea that I could emigrate. And that was kind of what I thought
How much older
would happen.
was he than you?
8 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's a good bit older than me. And so he went to Kentucky for horses, of course. Yeah,
of course.
Because the horses, they love
Kentucky
people,
Derby.
of course, yeah. And I mean, actually, it was when I visited him in Kentucky was probably when I started to see the dots, but not join them. I remember going to a Blockbuster Video when I was over and renting every stand-up video I could lay my hands on and watching them back to back to back.
Is that the first time that you were able to see sort of special-like
I think
things?
so.
Or did you have access to them
I think so.
before?
I think so. And I mean, I was 19, so I had never really watched any real stand-up per se. I mean, obviously, there's Billy Connolly would be somebody who would have been in our lives. There was these kind of cabaret acts back then in Ireland that were very big, who kind of did a mixture of character, but it was very much, kind of hacky stuff about my mother-in-law and stuff. And then, when I arrived here and I was with my brother and I was watching those tapes, I was just like, it is a light bulb moment. Like I think comedy is a bit like that kind of first love. That the light goes on.
Were you watching like Raw by Eddie Murphy?
Bigger and blacker. It was a lot of black comics that I really loved in the beginning, and obviously Seinfeld was big for me as well. I think Seinfeld really hits people because he's noticing things that you've noticed and articulating them so simply. It was so accessible. It was like just kind of blew my mind out my ears. And I think I started writing jokes there and then. But again, I had no plans to pursue it or do it. The plan was...
It was just a passion of yours at that point.
Yeah, I just loved making people laugh. I wasn't a class clown, but I just loved jokes. I remember I used to have 50 jokes that I would reel off. I must have been so annoying, but I used to just know jokes, old-timey jokes, and I would do those for people. Yeah. Just love getting laughs.
Because you don't have a persona that comes off as loud or boisterous, or you're very pensive and thoughtful.
Never really that biggest mouth in the room. I was usually the guy laughing at the class clown and thinking I could probably do that funnier.
Right. Yeah. With some better jokes.
Way to do that. Yeah. But I mean, it took a long time. I remember hearing Bill Burr say this as well, that it took him so long to go, and therefore you should be a comedian. It takes so long, especially if there's no history of entertainment in your family. Nobody in my family is in entertainment.
Right.
No one. I mean, I think I have an uncle who released an album once, but I mean, that's the extent of it. There's no model for there's no model for entertainment in the Regan family. So, I was pushing against the grain. So, for a long time, I went with the flow. Went to university in Dublin, got a degree, then got a master's in business. Went and got a job in an office. And realized I was getting depressed quick. I think in the first 6 months.
Were you working in Dublin then?
Yeah, I knew I was pretty sad the space of 6 months. My girlfriend, now wife, Tina, who's here with us, she's not in the room, she's my manager now. She was like, as soon as I got let go from that job, she was like, stop trying to get office jobs. Just admit what you are. It was like... It's like talking to an alcoholic. It was like, you've got to admit you've got a problem. You are a comedian. She's like, don't bother, just go for it. Just she was the one who said, just be it. Yeah. Try it. At the very least, try.
That it's crazy. It's like an intervention of sorts for something very normal. Like
well, not so normal at the time, for sure. Yeah,
Right.
but I know what you mean. I needed somebody to shove the boat off the dock. I wasn't going to do it for myself.
How great is that Tina was able to do that, especially at that young of an age?
So grateful.
You know?
So grateful.
I mean, you guys are a great team, and this is, 25 years later. I mean, what, roughly?
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Because like we often laugh that like for a lot of those years, she wouldn't come to the shows. She'd just hear about them afterwards. And when I was living in England, I went to England for 10 years. It's grind. It's full on grind. Like the comedy clubs are tough. The driving, the traveling is very hard. And she'd just hear about it when I came home. Now she's at every show. It's hard to believe that she was not at the shows before, because she's an incredible kind of performance coach as well as manager. She says like ridiculously insightful things about comedy that I like. How do you know that? Like, how do you know that that's what needs to happen here for this to work? Like, it wasn't blowing the doors off. I wasn't selling out all over the world until my wife became my manager. And I think that this is often sometimes the problem with comedians and their managers, that their manager it rarely has that level of intimate connection with the person.
They don't have their finger on the pulse.
Yeah, well, they're not booking the diary going, well, your son has his midterm break then, and he's probably going to need some time, the considerations for rest and all of that stuff. She'd have just understood. But I mean, I'm very, very grateful.
Everything.
Yeah, she's got a full 360 view. Yeah, I always joke that, I had a lot of problem with managers. Turns out I just needed my manager to be in love with me. That's all I needed.
So you hear the advice, everyone, is like, you got to make your manager fall in love with you.
You've got to fall in love. You've got to have an inappropriate relationship with your manager.
Yes, and then live with you. And have a kid with you.
Tina's background is early years and children with severe behavioral issues. And it turns out there is a lot of crossover between comedy manager and severe behavioral issues in children.
Well, you have that bit. I don't know if we could talk about it, but that bit with the visas. That's so funny. But I resonate with that just being a dude,
It's, there's a whole new bit in the new show, the Gas Man show that I've just written. I mean, the show you just saw last night here at the Den is last year's show in bits, which is actually going to be a stand-up special. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be out. And the stand-up special is called Make America Laugh Again. And you'll know why, right? But it's a really fun show, and I'm really going to miss it, to be honest with you. That show really changed my life.
It's a great show.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really, really proud of it. It's 130 dates or something mental.
It's
across
so
the
crazy.
year.
Well, when you were telling me yesterday too that the show is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've been doing that. Of course, you've done it a lot, right? But then you have a whole nother show.
Yes, another show
that's already in your head.
That's ready to go. Yeah.
And you're having to revert back
to the old show and then do the new one
after flying in, being jet lagged.
Yeah, it was
from
tricky.
Ireland.
Last night was tricky. Yeah.
Going to see a Bulls game.
Yeah, that's probably what messed me up. I got off the plane and I went to see the Bulls because I was like, I've got to go to Mecca. This is hallowed ground. Totally. I've never been.
Your curiosity there, your passion for that is clear. Because you only made the fourth quarter, right?
We only made the fourth quarter, but that was enough. It was a nail-biting fourth quarter. I'd obviously love to see a full game, whatever, but it's I'm a bit like my brother and my father when it comes to the horses in a field. I'll go to any basketball game and be riveted. Yeah, like it could be juniors. I just find it's so beautiful to watch. It's so interesting. The story of a basketball team and game is just something that I've just an abundance of time for. Yeah. So I was like, it was stressful getting to that game. Yeah. But it was amazing. It is amazing. I love it.
I loved hearing that when you guys got in, because there's something kind of romantic about the lifestyle of like flew in from Ireland, jet lagged as hell, got to do this show, but got to get to the Bulls game, like get it in.
Yeah,
and
it
like
does seem romantic from the outside, doesn't it? But
and then you pulled it off.
Tina was not happy about being in that cab.
I know. There's a little chaos there, right? There's a little like unnecessary chaos.
But honestly, trying to just remain grateful in it all, like that's the other thing she does as well. It's like, this is the dream. Like I did dream that this could happen someday, that you're able to go to Chicago and put on shows in beautiful theaters and see these cities and play to these people. Like anytime I'm like, oh God, I'm so tired. I'm like, no. Even coming out to meet the audience after the show, I always think it's a kind of an expression of that gratitude to whatever the universe is just saying thanks. Because look, we know how difficult people's lives are, and this is not a difficult life telling jokes. It's such a privileged position, and I think I try and remember that most days.
Yeah, when you're feeling, feeling
there's
like
challenges
things aren't
to
going.
it.
Yeah,
It's stressful.
Challenges to everything, but that is tough. It's tough for everyone to feel gratitude, but it's powerful.
That's
right?
a challenge. Yeah. It's a practice. That's why they call it a practice. You got to practice.
Yeah. And I don't think it's no joke that it has tangible effects if you can practice it. It's not woo woo. It's no. I don't think it's anything to do with woo woo, because it's like people can say, oh, that's do your gratitude and more great things will happen to you. It just puts you. It's mindset. It's like being an athlete and almost just focusing on the outcomes that make you feel good.
Yeah. I think that also it's an attractive energy, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Like lack of gratitude is this guy.
It's just
doesn't appreciate what he's got.
Yeah, but it's
somebody who's
thing.
like, isn't this great? Like, look at us.
Yeah.
It's like when you're like, I think it was Seinfeld that said that, like, you can go for a fancy dinner in the fanciest restaurant, but if you're with dickheads, it's the worst meal ever. But you can go for a hot dog with a friend and it's the best meal of your life. And there's something in that what you're saying, that if you can find the joy and appreciation in the difficulty that you're in, it is attractive. It is. Attractive. I want to be around that. I think I've got a few friends who are like that, and especially when you're a runner, like running, to come back to running, running's just like life, that it is so hard. If you thought about it, you'd probably never go. You'd probably not get involved. But if you're running with people who are appreciative of the struggle and grateful that I get to run, not I have to, I get to. Other people dream of running. Imagine I got to go running. You'll go running with those people and you won't even notice the miles.
Right.
There's something in that.
It's almost like that practice of gratitude, that you get to do things, that you get to experience these things, you get to do this with people, maybe it becomes greater than the pain idea of what you're doing that's hard, right?
Learning to love it, learning to love the pain. Like I said, writing that show that I was telling you about, the new show, I remember being out there with all these notes and trying to, kind of funnel it down this funnel and make it into a coherent 90 minutes of stand-up, and just like really scratching my head and like fully recognizing in the moment that however difficult this is fucking amazing. Like, it's incredible. Like, actually loving how hard it is. Is that's winning the battle.
And when you get that feeling, like when you're writing, you're in it, are you also thinking about the end result that excites you? Are you thinking, or is it just even the moment, the pain of the writing? So it's like you're coming up against obstacles writing, then you're reminding yourself that, how crazy is it that I'm doing this? Yeah. Do you ever flash to the forward?
It's a really good question, because I think it's a bad habit to keep thinking about what's the audience going to think, or how will this go down in Chicago, or the book I read and the book I recommend to everybody as I write every show is the Rick Rubin book. You've probably had it mentioned on the show before. Rick Rubin wrote a book about the creative life and the creative process. And it is a Bible, like, for creativity to me. Now, other people will read it and go, what a load of rubbish. I find it's my how-to guide on how to find what you think is funny and just stay with that. That's all I try and do. But take the pressure off the show. What's funny to you?
To you.
And just chase that thread. That's it.
Wherever it branches or takes you.
We don't need to analyze it any further. Sometimes I think if you do analyze it too much, you can ruin it. But what is funny to me right now? And that's why the notes have to be going the whole time. It's like, that's funny. Everyone has that moment. That's so funny. You know your radar, you write it down, and then you chase it.
Yeah.
And you just keep chasing it. And, for me, something comes out of it. And even if you just skim the cream off the top and you write for 5 pages, you get one punchline out of it. Mm-hmm. There's something juicy in that punchline because it's had 5 pages. That's it for me.
It's a simplification of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, it really is simple. Like, what are we doing here? We're just trying to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it. I think you can really get in over your head in terms of the analysis of that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I just think that's for other people to do. For me, keep it real simple. Yeah. The quickest version, the simplest version of what it is that you think is funny, saying it in the simplest way is always the funniest. The least words, the quicker, the better. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know. I literally just try and write. Like you say, we're turning over this show into the next show. I've seen people tour shows for 4 years, and I just scratch my head and go, how do you do that? Mm-hmm. How do you do that? I write the show in July and August, workshop it from September to December, take December off, and then tour it from January to July. Done. I couldn't do it for any longer than that.
And that's it for the life of that show.
That's done now. Because
and then you got a special.
These jokes are present.
And then you shoot a special for that show.
For me, if it's any longer than that, it ceases to be present. It ceases to be in the moment. Those jokes are old jokes. If you ask somebody to tell you a story remember that time the car crashed and your man got out and he nearly hit you, tell us that story from a few years ago. The version of that story that person told you when they arrived in the restaurant that night is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. The whole table. Because they're feeling it. Yeah, the whole table's loving it. Yeah. You ask him to tell it a year or two later. He's told it a few times. It's natural. We talked about sincerity at the start of the show. Yeah. This isn't who you are anymore. You've moved on. And I definitely think there's a demand as well for new material from comedians that has never been there before.
Sure,
because
there's a hunger for it.
Yeah, people want new stuff.
What do you think about greatest hits, though, kind of thing? Like where there's some things that, it's kind of like a song for musicians. Like, unfortunately, there are musicians that have to play, like they cannot not play their greatest hits. And do they want to all the time? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I think music's just so different because... even if Springsteen is playing Thunder Road, he's playing it in the context of now. Mm-hmm. He's giving his emotion about now and where the world is, where he's at in his life. A joke is so much more of like a spark from a time. Mm. And it burns really bright in that moment. Like some of the great hits that we talk about, Carlin or whoever, they're of that moment, and we like to watch the version of it that they told then. Mm-hmm. We never like to see him doing it as an encore years later. We want to hear him do it then, when it was fresh and bright in his mind. But music's different like that. I went to see Oasis in Dublin in August, and it was even better than 1996. Wow. Even
because it applied.
Well, it was about forgiveness. It might have been about money too. But we're in a world where two opposites, everyone's on one side or the other. Here's two brothers who cannot get over their past. And apparently their children brought them together. Sure, a bag of cash helps. But there was something in those shows that was about forgiveness. Wow. It was about family. It was about, let's just move on. And let's just, we know we don't agree on everything. Like, when did that stop? When did people stop going, look, you and I obviously don't agree on everything, but let's have coffee.
Totally.
Or let's sing this song. Yeah.
I mean, I think it takes a couple character traits, some humility, again, everything's practice, I think, right? It's like if our cultures value certain things, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah. If our culture values humility as a strength, it's a lot easier to come to those places where you go, you know what? I get these differences are hard, but who am I?
Yeah. It's out of fashion for sure.
And it's not really in fashion right now. I feel like what's in fashion is the bold, the never admitting you're wrong.
And kind of etching your manifesto of who you are into the stone of social networks.
Yes.
It's like, but aren't you the person that said in 2013, we have the tweet?
Right.
It's like, yeah, but I changed my mind.
I'm a different person.
I heard other stuff.
I learned. I grew.
I made
a
mistake when I said that. So or I thought that then.
Or maybe it was true at that time.
Felt right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's something I discuss with my son all the time. That things are gonna change. You're gonna change.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the time he's my age, we've reached a better place with people being wrong in the past and allowed to change their opinions, or them feel better about changing their opinions.
Right. Well, I think we're all struggling with this, for sure, the new world of how we receive information and how we actually communicate with each other. I mean, that's all brand new. I mean, pretty new, within the last 10, 20 years of how we are able to communicate our points on a worldwide scale.
And also how we're able to just retract into our sphere, into our bubble. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't need to go into everything, but it does feel like this. I'm so outraged. I'm so outraged by that.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's a contradiction in terms, right?
Yeah.
I am absolutely appalled that this is taking place. Have you seen this? Yeah.
Like, just outrage everybody.
How appalled are you? You're laughing at. You're back into your bubble of babies, AI babies. You know what I mean? They're just referring back to their own scrolling. Mm-hmm. That some of the things that I've seen since I came here, a couple of days ago, just in terms of stuff that is just part of the wallpaper here right now, that is shocking and appalling to everybody. But we're not expressing that as a people. We're not. There's a march once a month.
Mm-hmm.
But God.
I know.
Where are we? Where is everyone?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like you can make a choice to just stay positive and go, we're going to come out of this. We are struggling as a people. If you just think of everybody, we're struggling to figure all this out. Yeah. We have this new technology and we have these things that are not new that we're dealing with in terms of just societies and governments and, but, it's like, hopefully we'll wise up or we won't, it's like we got to help each other. I mean, all I can do is my best, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And not think I know it. I don't know anything really, I mean,
But I think comedy has a big power in this. I think comedy,
I agree.
When you say about your best, I get what you're saying. And, comedy has an opportunity to shine a light without battering people over the head and them not automatically turning off.
Right.
The second you start going somewhere.
Yeah.
because it's the spoonful of sugar. And, getting to things and saying things that no other platform would allow or would be tolerated for longer than 3 seconds. I try my best to make my comedy be an escape for people.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a responsibility to talk about or refer to things, I think.
Yeah.
If you can, it's not for everyone. Like, if you're fucking Gallagher and you're smashing melons, well, maybe not. But if you're what I do, if you do what I do, well, why not? Why not at least attempt to, like, the difficulty level of trying to thread that needle is hard. So, you actually pulling it off. Like you saw last night's show, it's not apolitical, but there is unity in places in what we're living through. There is unity. There is unity to be found. Yeah. And some of it is in recognizing that there's gobshites everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And they're doing so well. Gobshites. They're so successful at
Can you
getting...
tell me, so does a gobshite mean...
Yeah. So the gobshite, I can explain what a gobshite is very easily. There's a hierarchy or a spectrum of idiocy in Ireland. And certainly in the Irish language, it begins with eejit, which is kind of an Irish version of an idiot, right? An eejit, absolutely no problem. You've nothing to worry about. When somebody wants to act the eejit, it just means they're going out for the night, right? Yeah. Everyone you know is a little bit of an eejit. And the reason why it's not a problematic position is because it's not static. You can formerly be an eejit. You can be like, remember Ryan? God, what an eejit he was in high school. He runs the Den Theatre now. No way, good for him. He was an eejit, but now he's a success. Gobshite's the other way.
Okay.
Gobshite's right down the other end of the spectrum, where once you're labeled a gobshite, you're done. It's like, no that guy is a gobshite. There's expression, once a gobshite, always a gobshite. Irish people will know the expression because you don't know the names of all the Egypts in your life, but you know all the gobshites by name, and you avoid them at all costs unless you're married to them,
unfortunately,
related to them, or worst case scenario, raising one. And that is the big fear of every parent.
Is that you have a gobshite child.
You're raising a gobshite, or worse, the die is cast, the horse is bolted. Are they a gobshite? And I didn't stop it. I didn't see it happening.
No.
And is my job as a parent now going to be cleaning up the trail of destruction that this person is now leaving behind them? Because gobshites are, and Americans will know exactly who I'm talking about. It's the book that I've written is not about labeling people. It's about understanding that there is a gobshite in every office, every WhatsApp group, every sports club, every company. And if you think there isn't one in your friend group,
think again.
Yeah. You may have some tough... You may need to read this book and understand who you are as a person.
The Gobshite Guidebook. So just so people understand, when you came here today, I'm super honored. You brought me a copy of this new book of yours, The Gobshite Guidebook, a survival manual. So you can figure out who the gobshites are.
And figure out how to navigate them. Yeah.
And how to navigate it. I'm super honored you brought...
Yeah, one of the first editions there for you, Ryan.
Yeah, this is amazing. And it just dropped on Thursday.
Yeah, just came out. In Ireland, and it's coming to the US in December.
So I've got an early copy.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Thank you.
No problem at all. I hope it's useful.
I will definitely be reading this.
I say to people, get 2 copies, one for yourself and then one to just leave on the desk of the gobshite in your office, and maybe they'll join the dots and see who they are. But it's unlikely because gobshites rarely have the capacity for self-reflection. They're usually just barreling through the world, creating chaos and saying, how was I supposed to know that? It was like, it was explained.
Yeah.
But they don't
So gobshite is literally like a chaos maker. Everything is destroyed, whirlwinds, tornadoes around them.
And like there's a lovability to them too. This is the tough thing. Like Michael Scott from The Office would be the perfect TV gobshite. He has no consciousness of how annoying he is. He is making people's lives a misery, and yet people like him somehow. He is
likable,
failing upwards, and still, every time he's just about to get out of trouble, another thing that he screwed up from years ago will come back to haunt him. And that's the gobshite existence. If you know a gobshite, you're listening to this now going, I wonder, is that person a gobshite? Ask yourself a few questions, right? Is their phone constantly broken? Are they regularly changing their number because they regard losing phones and smashing precious things as part of their existence? These phones are so flimsy. It's like, no, you're not taking care of your phone.
Yeah, right. Something you're doing is causing this over and over again.
Do they ask the question regularly? How was I supposed to know that? That's a phrase they use a lot, right? Another acid test is, are people regularly angry with them for reasons they find hard to understand? They feel like the world is kind of being tough on them. And before family functions, before the guests arrive, does somebody pull them aside and say, don't you open your mouth this time? So these people are there, and we live with them, and we're often married to them. And I felt like no one has any guidance on what to do with it. The government's doing nothing about it. So I thought I'd write a book about it and have some fun with, this misery that we find ourselves in, because these people are unavoidable. They're like, I'm sure you're thinking of them right now.
I've got some in my head. For sure. But yeah, I think that, I mean, of course, we've all had people where if you realize, like, if you want to succeed, if you want to do well, you do what you can for people, but if they're draining your energy, if they're draining your time, you got to move away from them. You got to avoid the gobshite.
Yeah, this is it. Like, they'll never think they're draining your energy. They'll think you're being difficult.
Right.
These people have. The book asks the question whether these people are born or are they raised. Like, is somebody a born gobshite? I don't think so. I think that it's usually the parents. I think the fathers are usually responsible for the female gobshites, and the moms are responsible for because moms are always covering for that son who's managed to get himself arrested again. Oh, he's had a very tough run. He's such bad luck.
And they take on that mentality.
Yeah, and then the father thinks, she can do no wrong. She's his little princess, but, she ducked out on that phone bill, and now you've got to pay it. I've had a lot of fun writing the book because it's kind of cathartic to go through all of these people and annoyances. Like, I asked the question in the book, can animals be gobshites? Because we've all had a dog that just won't stop barking and refuses not to piss in the house. And in this book, we definitely get right into whether animals can be gobshites. And the answer is definitely yes. Certainly horses are a great example.
They'll kick you. Well, let's, before we run out of time, I want to ask you, because you've talked a lot about running, but I find this fascinating that you do this. I'm actually interested in running myself a little bit. I have not succeeded like you have. When did you get started in running, and why?
Well, I guess I'm a pandemic runner.
Okay.
I had interviewed Ireland's greatest track athlete of all time, a woman by the name of Sonia O'Sullivan. Now, she's Ireland's Michael Jordan of the track, an absolute killer. She went undefeated for a season. She ran the World Cross Country Championships and won gold on the Saturday in the short course race, and then just decided, I'll run the long one on the Sunday, just on a whim. Won that too. She's an absurd human being. And I'd interviewed her. Pandemic hits. We'd managed to keep in touch. And when I was really not getting any exercise like everybody, I wanted to run, but I knew I'd ruin myself if I didn't get the coaching. necessary, because so many people just went out the door and just took off.
You mean coaching with like form? Or
Yeah,
like,
well, this is it. I knew that there's a right and a wrong way to do this. There's a reason why so many people run a park run and then toast. The knees and the hips are done in the space of 6 months. So I rang her, Sonia O'Sullivan, and I said to her, could you teach me how to do this so that I don't turn my knees to chalk? Because I'd already had hip issues. You know, I played basketball at a high level in Ireland, but I just couldn't fathom the idea of injuring myself. And she said, yeah, there is a way to do this, but you're going to have to listen to me and go slower than you ever thought you'd have to run in order to build your body up for this. And that guidance became the backbone of the whole thing, me running around slowly and not worrying. As a comedian, you're always worrying about what people are thinking or what your audience is thinking. So very self-conscious.
But your own ego too.
Yeah,
of like,
you don't
I'm
wanna be
stronger
seen.
than this. I don't want
run
to
faster than
I don't want
this.
people passing me.
Yeah, you feel like you need that on the T-shirt going, this is not the fastest I can run, guys. You know, I'm aware this is slow.
I'm running slow on purpose here.
Yeah, running slow to go fast is the idea. And it is just building that cardio slowly. She described it as like pouring a pint of Guinness. That's how she put it. The black stuff is the aerobic. She said, you got to get that right. You add the white stuff. Like the white stuff naturally forms from the black. And I was like, it's such a beautiful analogy.
Way to get an Irishman to understand how to do something.
It's so perfect, because like that will take care of itself, because you will not be able to run fast if you can't run for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it came about as a result of that. And she took me from, and this always blows people's mind, listening to this, who know running. She took me from running, I think it was like a 31-minute 5K to running 5 kilometers in 19 minutes 40 seconds. So it's like, I was 40 years old. I couldn't believe it.
So is that like a 7-something minute mile?
I don't go in miles. I guess it'd be a 4 minute kilometer.
Okay.
A little under that. I don't know what that is in miles. She goes miles. I'm kilometer guy. And so.
But either way, it was a good achievement for you, right?
Look, but now it's not even about the times. Right?
Yeah.
We generated a community. I forgot to mention that we made a podcast from it called An Irishman Running Abroad, where we followed that journey. She each week telling me what to do and the listeners following along. Sonia O'Sullivan's going to coach me to run, and if I can do it, you can. So we followed that journey from day one right to me completing 3 marathons in the space of 1 year. And, you know, we created a community of runners that I now meet across the world. Like I run with some of them in Chicago here.
I want to run with you at some point. I would love to.
It's great, man. I mean, that's what it is about. It's not even about the times. It's about that connection between these people who never knew each other, but there's a shared love of Sonia O'Sullivan and what she achieved and what she gave to our country, but also just the joy of running. It's more endorphins, you know. It's just like comedy, just that endorphin rush.
I mean, you feel good. You feel
no matter how bad the day's going, a run will always change things around. Yeah, that's been integral for me, because I definitely get a bit bluesy at times, and who doesn't?
I feel the same way. I mean, I've dabbled in running as well, and I actually signed up for a marathon, not this last Chicago marathon, but the one before, and I ended up never doing it.
That's okay.
The time came,
you're starting at the mountaintop,
and I know, and I thought
build up to that.
I know, and then I signed up for a High Rocks. Have you ever heard of these things?
I have, yeah.
And I didn't do that, and then now I'm signed up for because look, I was a good athlete when I was.
You're really good at signing up for things.
I'm really good at signing up for things.
You can really get your ducks in a row and fill out the form. That's the first step.
That's the hard part, man.
A lot of people never sign up.
But
you should do a podcast about how to sign up for things. Each week, Ryan takes you different types of forms
of how to
and to set up the direct debit.
Totally. Well, you know what's crazy about that is there's probably more people that would relate to that.
Yeah, than those that would want to run.
Than those that actually end up doing what you've done.
Yeah.
But no, I hope to do what you've done, which is complete it. And I do have a High Rocks that I'm doing in Chicago in 2 weeks.
Fair play. I mean,
so
I don't know. Running's enough for me.
I don't know how people do. I don't know why. It's just looked fun. It was like
and it is about the community. Like, it is just about getting together. I mean, I think so much of this is like I say in the new show about a lot of these things are about not feeling lonely. And certainly comedy is about, like, the book is about realizing I'm not the only one suffering these fools. Mm-hmm. And comedy to me is about coming into rooms and recognizing, it wasn't just me that noticed that. Mm-hmm. I have a room full of people laughing at the same time, that I'm not on my own here. And I think High Rocks and all the running stuff is very similar.
Yeah.
That, like, it's hard. High Rocks and running is hard.
Yeah.
But when we're in it together, doesn't feel half as hard.
It's community. Yeah. It's connectedness. Yeah. It's the thing that we're all seeking. And it takes a lot of, and in a way it's an analogy for, the other things in life, that you have to overcome.
There's good days and bad days with running, for sure. There's days you don't want to get out there and do it at all. And then there's those glorious days that you gotta just live in it and enjoy it. Yeah, the analogy is right there. It's staring you in the face. It's nearly 2 on the nose, isn't it? But yeah, I adore it. And
so with basketball, when did you start playing basketball?
Well, I mean, again, I sound like I come from Cold War Russia, but, like, I remember seeing a basketball for the first time when I was 8 years old. Like, I didn't know, what is this? What is this? Like, it sounds so ridiculous, but I've thought about this a lot. Like, when did I first? Because nobody in my life liked basketball or knew anything about it.
You didn't see courts on your way home.
No.
You didn't see, there was a school, we probably didn't even have it as a sport in school.
Very rare to see it. Now, obviously it was happening in Ireland. There was a league and stuff, but certainly wasn't crossing my radar. And I think similarly to my father with the horses, that, like, was nobody in his family was into horse racing, but the bedrock of horse racing is everywhere in Ireland. Like, everybody knows horses, has a tip for a horse, has a cousin who's part horse. There's a lot of connections with horses. But basketball is I saw the hoop, and I was 8 years old, and my next this neighbor whose dad was a vet, I was like, come on, we'll play basketball. I was like, this is the best. Like, I loved it. But I loved it right away because, just like comedy, I could do it on my own. I was the youngest by a distance, and I was on my own a lot. And this was a sport I could play by myself. And I think comedy definitely attracts loners. And I was that. Like, I was definitely able to practice the sport in the wilds of Ireland and didn't really need many people around because there was nobody around. And that was kind of where it began, and it became an obsession pretty quickly.
Were you always a good athlete?
Don't know if you describe me as a good athlete, but I got there. I mean, I think I was always determined. I had no problem repeating things.
So your body adapted a little bit.
Yeah. I remember I bought a pair of special shoes from America that were platform shoes that strapped onto your shoes. They were called jump soles. And they were about that thick. They were about 3 inches off the ground, and there was no heel on them. They sound absurd, right? And you were meant to train in these things, strap them onto your sneakers and run around and jump about the place to increase your vertical leap. And the whole idea was that by the end of the summer, I'd be able to dunk a basketball.
Did it work?
It did.
Are you serious?
It did.
I thought you were going to say the opposite. You dunked it?
This was the funniest thing. That, like, I was secretly doing this, like, fully like in my head going, and then I'll show those guys. I was able to two-handed dunk a basketball, reverse dunk it.
How old were you?
15.
No way.
Yeah, like I wanted it so bad. Like if nothing else,
These
I couldn't
jump
shoot.
shoes.
These jump shoes, jump soles. I don't even think they exist anymore. But I could do it. I could do it. And I probably at the expense of other parts of my game. Like I wasn't brilliant at dribbling, passing, or shooting.
Spent hours trying to dunk it.
I was just really focused on dunking. Again, it's I guess it's the comedian in me as well. It's like that's the most entertaining. That's the biggest punchline is being able to dunk a ball. And I was able to do it for like a 3-year period, and then I got injured. And that was that.
It also sheds light on just your, I think some of your successes and ability to sort of like zero in on something that you want.
Maybe.
And go, I'm going to do this over and over again. And if you look at some of what it takes to write a book, there are very few of us that can actually pull that together. What it takes to write a comedy special.
Or do a podcast for 10 years. It is all about repetition. For sure. Yeah.
Your podcast, 2013, is that when you started? An Irishman Abroad?
Yeah.
That was at a time when, yes, there were a lot of podcasts, but it wasn't something that was easy to start. It wasn't something that, you could start a podcast within
an hour.
An hour, you could pull it together.
We could do it.
But what was it that made you go, this is what I want to do? And then the level to which you reached.
Yeah, it got crazy. We got some amazing guests over the 10 years of it. It's on hiatus at the moment. But the gist of the podcast was I was the Irishman abroad. I'd moved away from home, was trying to figure it out. I knew loads of Irish people that had prospered away from home, including the likes of Gabriel Byrne, Sir Bob Geldof, Boy George, Sharon Horgan, you name them. The greatest Irish people that have ever lived came on this podcast and basically talked to me about how they did it. And
what an honor.
An honor. Like we had former presidents and prime ministers on the show. We had people who were kind of, I guess, Olympic medalists, CEOs. It was an incredible run because we didn't miss a Sunday for 10 years. An episode came out for 10 years solid. We didn't miss a Sunday.
From when you started?
From when we started. And that archive is still there. People can find it there in the feed for Irishman Abroad. And it definitely helped me. It was about knowing that people abroad feel a little forgotten, and you don't really, there's no guidebook to how to do it. You just know loads of people have done it. And I didn't feel anybody had ever told their stories. So I largely just researched the hell out of each person and then asked the questions
using your super focus ability.
But I was really just trying to ask them the questions that they hadn't been asked. I felt needed to be asked. Long form interviews weren't big at the time. I guess Marin was big. That was certainly an inspiration for it because I was
one of the first
attempting to move away, and I was on airport floors listening to Mark chop it up with the best of the best, and I loved conversation. And also, look, comedians are suited to podcasts because, like you said, it's so about listening. It's so about being present and in the moment. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And it, when comedy wasn't flying for me, the podcast kept the lights on.
With all these just unbelievable humans that you got to sit down next to, is there anything that stands out? Is there any moment or thing that you heard from someone that maybe surprised you that changed?
Yeah. Nearly every episode has something. When you're talking to somebody for an hour and 30 minutes and you're going right deep into what they've lived, there's always something that comes out. And certainly it revealed aspects of work ethic. That is one thing that stuck with me, was understanding the work ethic that they needed to get to where they got to. Yeah. All of these people, that is the thread. The work ethic it's never luck. They make their luck through this work ethic. And trying to emulate that was always what I took away from it. Was like,
it gives me goosebumps. You see that? Like when you say that, I'm just like, it's like one of the answers. It's like, when we all search, like, how do I make my life the way I want it?
Yeah, it was the quote that I write inside every notebook. 2 quotes. The answers you're looking for are in the work you're avoiding. And the quieter you become, the more you hear. Those 2. Like, Ram Dass is responsible for one of them. I don't know where the other one comes from. But the answers you're looking for are in the work you're avoiding. If that doesn't get you out of bed in the morning, what will? You know the answers. They're all in you. But you're deliberately avoiding it out of fear, is it? Who knows? What is it?
It's
but
scary.
You know what needs to be done. You do know.
I think it's a part of you that will have to die. A part of you that you'll have to let go of that's fighting for survival. It knows, like, if that's the answer, then all this way that I've been living, these things that I've not, it's trying to survive too, maybe.
That's a good way of putting it. I certainly feared judgment was the big fear for me. Was like, I was afraid of putting clips up on social media because somebody might say that shit. And it's like,
I feel that way.
What's that fear? Like, I freed myself from that in January 2023. I just went, no, I'm not gonna give 2 fucks anymore. I'm gonna put it up, and that's it. Yeah. And honestly, that was a breakthrough for sure. Yeah. Now I still have moments where I'm like, oh God, what's everybody gonna think? But you got to keep reverting back to it doesn't matter. It's never mattered. And when somebody says something shit, they're right on to the next thing.
Right.
They're not thinking about it for any longer than when they wrote this is shit. They're not spending the day going, that was really shit. They're on to the next thing.
Right.
So why would you be stuck on it? Just delete that, block that, get going. That's my attitude anyway.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
It's so tough to do. I mean, fear and judgment. Hard. It's like those are the 2 things that they have such power if you let them. And if you can find a way you can't make the fear disappear, or the judgment, but like you said, you can look past to see where you're trying to go and just pull.
Yeah, and just I guess the whole thing of surround yourself with good people, but you're like definitely trying not to waste your time on people who aren't, productive for you. Mm-hmm. We waste a lot of our time worrying about people who aren't worrying about us.
Giving it power.
Yeah, they're not really thinking about you. Why are you thinking about you?
Right.
Why aren't you thinking about you when you're thinking about them? Like, isn't it so funny that the people that dominate your thoughts are never the people that really are wishing you well? Mm-hmm. The ones that are really, really in your corner and going, like, yeah, this. You feel like, oh, that one's won. I won that one. Right. I got to focus on this guy in the front row here who's not laughing yet.
Totally. Yeah. Why is that?
What is that about? I guess it's just trying to please everybody, isn't it? And freeing yourself from that idea is the center of this.
Yeah.
If they're not coming along, the way I put it was, I say it to my wife all the time when we're like, why didn't they say anything? And I always say, well, asking that question is waiting at a bus stop where that bus does not stop. It doesn't stop there. So why are you waiting at that bus stop? Stop waiting for that to arrive. That's not the route.
It's not going to stop.
You can wave it down, but that bus is not going to stop.
You can try to grab on. It'll just drag you.
It's not. Yeah. You can buy a skateboard, but they don't want you there. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, man. Great chat.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we've gone over a little bit, but just as I appreciate your time. One more quick question. Out of all the things that you've experienced with your travels and comedy and your podcast, what's something that you find a little ridiculous about this rock that we live on? Maybe humorous, maybe just a perspective that you think is worth
ridiculous. what is ridiculous?
I just see this is, like what we, this is a strange thing that we're all experiencing together.
Yeah, you know what? I think it is ridiculous that there is this amount of wealth in the world, and there are this many billionaires,
Yeah.
and this many people living in poverty. I really find that absurd, that there is not a better way
It is a
of
little absurd,
helping those that are less well off.
Yeah.
Like there was a time when people in Dublin were artists and painters and poets who somehow managed to survive and rent places that weren't much. And there was a thriving sense of creativity in that city. But more and more cities I visit, the more I'm like, oh, this is just like back in Dublin. That the only people that are actually living in the city now are people who are working in finance or for tech or have parents who are putting them through living there. And we're losing these people to what? To where? Where are they going? And how is there not an effort to make... Like it's like, there's an assumption that these people are lazy when it's like they need support to get, some people need more support to get where they're going. And that's absurd to me, that it's so, the game is rigged and it's set up for this group to continue to do well. Now I sound like, a champagne socialist or something, whatever you want to call me. But like, that is the definition of absurdity.
Yeah.
That you can have this many millionaires.
Yeah, well, I think a chart, what you're saying, a chart helps me understand that absurdity. If you think of a graph, like a chart where it's like, I get in the past, it's been like, okay, we used to have some, people that were worth hundreds of millions, and in America, you'd have a pathway, even if you're starting at the bottom of the graph, that's like this, or maybe it's like this. Is a little more healthy, right? Like, we're not saying, I love the idea that if I'm here, man, I can make unbelievable success, money, power, if I want, right? There's a path. But if now the curve is like, it's like this, where it's like, these people up here, they can buy countries, they can buy militaries, they can buy, and down here, there's no chance anymore. You can't scale that. No. So then it becomes like, well, why is this game fun for anyone? Like, do you need trillions? Do you need, hundreds of billions? But I like that absurd. It is absurd. It's fucking
absurd,
crazy.
and I don't have an answer. I don't have the answer. I mean, the answer is not to just keep shoveling money into people, but there has to be a more equitable way to make it so that people can live better lives. Like, I've been poor. I've been really poor. I've had times where, I was living in a foreign country and I really was like, it was hand to mouth. You're like, how are we going to figure this out? We're broke. And it just didn't seem like that there was a way.
You made it out. You lifted yourself up. But like, what would have happened if somebody would have extended a hand to you? Would you have become a lazy bum?
No, I think that I definitely think that if there was a greater, like, look at what we've talked about. If somebody said the Arts Council is going to give you this bursary if you can continually hand in chapters of this book that you've proposed. What's wrong with that? I mean, surely there's a way of encouraging people through those kind of creative, artistic grants.
It's not going to create a gobshite.
Yeah.
We don't want to create gobshites.
I don't know, man, if we've gone down a non-ridiculous path here, but I certainly look around at it and I go, it's like the curve you described, where there's no chance of these people getting out of here. And then if one does, the people up there go, that's proof it can be done.
Right.
And there
are millions that are like
bullshit.
Millions living in poverty.
I mean, I do think it's ridiculous to keep electing the same people and think that the results are going to be different.
Right.
The same parties over and over again. I mean, nothing's going to change.
Sure.
We've tried this. It's not working. You know, we need to give other people a chance, you know.
But when the masses are working 2-3 jobs and trying to support their families, I mean, and their choices that are in front of them, go vote, here are your choices, and they don't have much.
They don't see themselves in who's up for election. Is that what you mean?
They don't. Yeah,
They don't think it's
but
going to
also
impact.
they don't have the time to research who's going to help more. They don't have the time to look into it and
they don't want you looking into it.
and they don't want.
They don't
and
want
so
you
then
to-
once you reach that point, it's almost like something has to crumble, and then you know.
It's
But unless we can.
yeah, I don't know how funny it is, but it's,
I know. I was thinking, you know,
we went
it is
ridiculous, and then it became sad.
I know,
because
I
it
know.
is sad. Usually, the ridiculous is coated in sadness, because you know, if it made sense, it wouldn't be ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But I've loved the chat, I have to say. Really, very great to talk to you, Ryan.
Thank you for spending the time with me. It's a real honor, given who you've sat down with. I feel this like very close, a separation from all these greats, or not too far of a separation. But thank you, thanks
you.
for playing the den again.
Absolutely loved it.
Where should people look for you most? Like, where can they find you?
Jigser.com, JIGSER.com, and on Instagram and TikTok, I'm there and everywhere. And then I'll be in New York at the Gramercy Theatre in April. I'll be in Philly in April. I'll also be in Boston at the Wilbur.
The Wilbur.
In April.
I love the Wilbur.
So those are my US dates for now, but there'll be more.
But you're going to Australia.
Going to Australia in
New
November,
Zealand.
yeah. The UK and Ireland all the time. So just keep an eye on those tour dates. I'd love people to come out and see the show. And the book, the Gobshite Guidebook, is going to be in Barnes and Noble over here in December. And you know, you can order it on Amazon if you want to be that way. But support your local bookstore. That's what I say. Get it ordered.
Definitely.
And hopefully it'll help you navigate these people. But as I said in my inscription, Ryan, thank you for being the opposite of a gobshite and having me here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.